So let's start. What is the Auditor Toolbox? The Auditor Toolbox is just a Docker file. I started like 3 months ago because back in time, I used to audit. I wanted to learn tools, right? Like everyone, because most of the issues are easier to find or to at least to create a proof of concept of them if you can demonstrate them with a test, right? So for that we need tooling. And back in time there were like so many tools. We had these Trello tools, and they have this toolbox, right? So they had Echidna, Manticore, Slither, whatever. And I found it really cool. So I used to audit with that. I used that Docker file and I built the image. I installed my tools and stuff. And what happened? By the time the Docker file wasn't updated, so there were some tools like Foundry that had issues because of the Ubuntu version they were using. And back in that moment, I didn't know so much about Docker. So I didn't know it was just changing one line. But the thing is that by the time I got a blue screen, my computer erased everything, and I had my system off, so I had no way of auditing without having to install everything again. So that's where the moment I found the issue, right? So this is the solution, because I just look for the best tools, the common tools. I install them in a Docker image. So it's a all-in-one environment solution for audits, easy to use and to configure, updated with most common tools, and transparent and open source. If you want to modify it, to fork it, or to suggest some improvement, just feel free to do it. So how is the architecture of the image? If we go to the repo, I created this brand for the OpenSense demo. And if we see the files, it's just a Docker file, the README. This is the message of the day that I tuned just for the OpenSense event. And
Really cool.
what else? Yeah, thanks. So we have the image, the templates folder, and the script folders. Both of these folders, what is going to happen is that the Docker file, it's going to copy inside of the image. So the operating system is going to have both folders. One is for scripts for installers. Like one problem you can have in a Docker file is trying to get every tool in the Docker file. So if you do that, the size of the image can go to like 20 gigabytes, and that's not the plan, right? So I created scripts that you can just one click and install the tool, but most of the tools are already installed. And also I created templates for the audit, for the bug bounties. So let's go and try a little of this toolbox, right? So we go here and we have this command. This is just a git clone, go inside the folder, fetch these brands, check out to the brands, but whatever, and then we build the image. This is the name of the image. So for example, in this case, it's going to be OpenSense demo, but it could be, for example, version 0.2 or whatever, or just test of whatever. And we build it, and then we run it. We can give it a name. In this case, it's going to be machine1. And this is the OpenSense demo is, as I said, the name of the distribution, let's say that. So I take this command, I just go here to Avast terminal, the installation, okay. So I paste it.
Awesome stuff.
And then we go. And the time of the build, whoa. Okay, I think I closed Docker. So this issue is regarding not having Docker installed or not having Docker open, because it's a service, and if you don't have it, it's not going to work, right? So I click it again, blah, 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 blah. What's going on? Complete the container. Okay, yeah. So the name of the image.
Did you clean the image, probably?
Yeah. So what I gonna do is just change the name of everything. Let me look for the machine one. What's the name? Was it this? Blah blah blah. Yeah, it's this. It's because of this, the name. So we go here, and what is the name? This, okay, machine one. So now it's going to be machine two. Building, and there we go. It's built. So as you can see, all of these are like layers that are inside of the Docker file. Docker file is just a bunch of commands. In this case, it's a multi-stage image. So first we build one image, and then we take some of the files like Foundry or Heimdall, and we copy those into the second image. And if you want to modify the image, this is all the list of requirements or packages that we are installing, like Git, curl, a lot of things like Python. It's using Python 3.9, and we have MVM, Yarn, Node, everything installed like that.
One
We
question.
also have Salt Select. Tell me.
Are you using Alpine or Ubuntu for the Linux image?
I'm using Ubuntu,
Awesome.
but I know Alpine is like smaller in size, right? But yeah, using Ubuntu just because I always used Ubuntu. I'm used to it.
Awesome. It's very cool.
So Salt Select, Halmos, a lot of tools. We copy here the things, we create symbolic links here, and we copy the files. And the thing here with the time is that it's 0. It's because I already built that in the past, the image. So you put into the cache the layers, and you don't need to compile them again. But the time of the installation is less than 10 minutes. Actually, it's like 594 seconds.
Awesome.
And now, so the image is running, we can just take Visual Studio code thing, and we command palette, attach to running container, and we see that we have machine 1 and 2. The 2 is the clean version we just installed, and connecting to the system. But actually, you can just, if we go to the space, we have this command, right? So this version, the remove option, is just for like one use Docker. So you put it, and here you have the Docker just working. So you see the first image, and we can just call, for example, if you like CLI, this can be like the best option. But the memory is delete after one use, so better don't use it. And so, yeah, for example, we have the script folder, we can run versions and check what packages are already installed here.
That's pretty cool.
Less things. So here is the attached version, right? Let's open a terminal and do actually the same, but here it's more beautiful, right?
Hey Vito, can you take a minute to explain people here that may not know what Docker is and how Docker helps you have the same environment across different machines?
So Docker is basically it's like a container, right? So people in the past can maybe used to use virtual machines, but Docker is the same, but created by a Docker file, like that text file creates the whole operating system, a virtual machine. What happens is that, for example, you are a Solidity auditor, right? And most of the tools are created for Linux, Ubuntu environments, and you try to install them in Windows, and most of the times you have problems. In my case, I'm using Windows. So it makes sense to use like a virtual machine, or at least a double SL operating system, or Docker in this case. So what it is like a replicable environment environment, an operating system, in this case using Ubuntu 22. And that's it. That's the operating system. So you have everything an operating system may have in the command line, and even in the Explorer, because I'm seeing these files like the things, but if you run, for example, you go down and you see all these these folders, and this is just Ubuntu. So you can find whatever configuration you want. You can create users. It's not the common use case of the Docker image in this case, but you see I created white hat user, and you go inside, you have everything prepared. You have the...
Cool. So you're telling us that I'll be able to just pull this from GitHub, and I'll be able to run Manticore like in a minute, run.
Yeah. So Manticore is not installed by default, but if you run add2, you get this installer with a visual interface in case you don't want to CLI. And you click on Manticore, and it is installed.
Magic.
And probably it's not going to take a lot of time, because I don't think that it's... Whoa. I think that installed is like fast, and you can also do it on the CLI running bash scripts, and you have this. So add2, what is running on the left, is like an aggregator of all the installers that are on this folder. Manticore is already installed. We can exit from this. We can call Manticore, and there we go. We have everything ready. So if you know how to use it, you have all the packets ready, right?
It's awesome.
And if you now run a script version, as I did before, you can check that Manticore is installed somewhere. There we go. And yeah, let's do like a whole installation of some common tools, right? So if I should decide about these tools for like a fast demo, I wouldn't use Server because it is a hard tool to use. You need to learn this language like they have, and yeah. But echidna tests, you can do them for fasting. We have also mithril for symbolic execution, and kind of works like a static analyzer. We have Manticore that I already installed. We have Medusa Fusser that actually is getting more attraction from people. Like people is taking attention to it, because so if we talk about fuzzers, probably what we have is Echidna, that is like the old tool from Trilobits, but it have like its own language. So you need to create these Echidna tests or property testing with some invariants and stuff. And so it have a lot of stuff. If you go to the repo, you will see it. And if you go to, if you go here to reference page, we have the Echidna somewhere. Echidna, and check how to use it, and we can check the variables, the assertions. We have different ways to test it, and the common usage is just writing this test that is started with Echidna, and you run the command Echidna, and there you go. And the other day, actually, I improved the Echidna installer. So I think in my here, I created like, so yeah, these are like common tools to run, in my opinion. Analyzer, Medusa Fuzzer, Mithril, Pyrometer, and we're going to launch them in the machine. So we launch them, and it starts creating like installing everything. And probably not too much time, we have everything installed. We are gonna install Echidna 2 that is not on the right. And Echidna, I think it takes like 15 seconds to install Echidna.
That installer is super cool. How you did it? Is this some Linux package or something?
Actually, yeah, something like that. So if we go to here to the scripts, we have the installer script, what is actually that? It's using dialog. That is the package that is using. You need to install it, and then you can create
It's
this
pretty cool,
kind of
bro.
menu. And you have the options here, and that's it. You call the script or whatever you want to install, and there you go.
Another cool thing,
And
I don't know if that's possible today, but if I could, whenever I'm executing or building the image, if I could point to a GitHub link so he can already pull the repo, in a certain repository, is that possible today?
what do you mean?
I mean, like whenever I'm
Like,
building the image, let's say I'm pulling straight from Docker Hub, I can pass a parameter with a GitHub repo. So he also downloads the repo, installs everything, and I can already run the tools inside the repo, because otherwise I'm going to have to install the toolbox, get into the image, then pull the repo and start using, right?
every Docker, every Docker image, you can use it like Trello betas. And so, for example, here in Echidna, you go to installation, blah, 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 Docker. So, commonly, you can run inside your operating system like they do,
It's
like
map,
this. And
right? Okay.
they share, in this case, a folder, and it gets inside the Docker image. So you can do it like for using in your actual operating system without installing the whole thing, like not making the Auditor Docker the thing, but it's not like you do git clone and whatever. I mean, so you do git clone like it's in the one command line, and then you run the Docker run option with the -b thing, you share the folder you have in your operating system, and you run the tools. But it's always the same. It's always having a CLI command line, and you run against the code you are sharing.
It's pretty.
My favorite option, as always, is just installing the Auditor Docker. You have and running again whenever you want in the Visual Studio thing, because it's pretty easy to use it.
Have you considered
And
using a Docker Compose file? Because you have all these different tools could also be interesting to have them running in different containers, right?
I didn't think about it right now, because first I just wanted to like install the common tools and make them available to the users and improve like the
Major
user
things, bro.
experience. Yeah, it's running on the right. Now let's try some of these tools. For example, the analyzers. So now we can just go to, for example, Code Arena, get some repo. Maybe this looks like a small. Get the repo. Oh wow, I think it's private. Yeah, mitigation review. Yeah, sure. The audit, view repo. We get this. Go inside. We get on this. One thing that I did for this like toolbox is improving the PyCodes analyzer. So now we go inside the centrifuge this thing. And so the static analyzer most of the times don't need to compile the things. That's the case with analyze from PyCodes. So I just run analyze for against source in this case because this is where the contrasts are. And this is okay, something's wrong. Blah blah blah. Scope is empty. Yeah, how was this? With room mappings. Analyze for minus help. ls source. And I just run source for manager. Will this work? For some reason it's not working if it is repo. But the idea with
No
analyze
problem.
for is yeah. So if you go back here and the analyze PyCode's analyzer, the usage it's inside analyze. What is the command? Yeah, the way it's analyzer. And what you do here is just do Jan analyze, and you put the URL of the repo, and that runs like this. At least looks better, but it's not working, by the way. Make sure you can compile the contracts. I think I need to compile them. So let's go here, blah, blah, blah. And let's configure everything as it should. Go to the bottom. Oh, wow. Not a huge configuration. Probably it's missing some Jan install or whatever.
Yeah, probably something like that.
Yeah. So we can run Poly for this. Let's see. And in this side, we install these tools. We have the Myth tooling that actually is running on one thing about installing tools is that sometimes they have conflicts on the packages, right? So you may install one dependency and that may break another dependency. That happened to me with Brownie, that happened to me with Bountycore, because they are all tools. And the thing I had to do with them is installing them in a virtual environment with Python VMs, and then just point to the bin option here of the tool. Something like that was, and probably is the activator Manticore. It's just clicking on this, right? Like if you just do, if I'm not wrong, blah blah blah, Manticore amp less. I was doing it right. Manticore amp, and I click on bin Manticore, it should do the same exactly. So even if it's in a virtual environment, you can use it like just sourcing the folder and stuff, but you can just use the Manticore symbolic link I created, so
Awesome.
It's not needed anymore. We have here this, and one tool that I really like that is installed in the toolbox is Halmos. So nowadays, one thing that happens on tooling is that not they are only built on Rust most of the times because of the speed. Is that the tooling is just you go inside the folder, you run the command, and that's it. You don't need to go like so. Here we see this error that is because Halmos uses the same logic as Foundry test. So they try to unify the tests, which is really cool because you don't need to learn more stuff. And the thing is that you just do something like this, and now Halmos will run that test with formal verification. So it will look for anything to make it fail. We need some setup, this index out of range. But the idea is that with Almos, it's easy to use. It's already installed in the toolbox. You don't need to install it, and it will prove in a formal way that some condition it's been followed, right? And for other tools like Medusa. So you would need just to go inside the folder, do something like this to create the configuration of the project, and we have this Medusa JSON configuration file, and it's similar. So Medusa runs in a way. This is from Trilobits, okay, like Echidna, and they are learning this thing about from Halmos or Foundry, and it's like just do something with Solidity, do it easy with Rust, improve the concept, but don't change it. Don't change it. No, don't make users need to learn new languages
Awesome.
like Stertora, because at the end you just want to learn one thing and use different tools with the same thing. And you will go here and run something like this. And I didn't try Medusa. That is a really new tool. I think they launched it like 1 month ago, and Magneto and other people got an issue in transmission 11 in one of the tools from Soulmate, I think. And it was really cool, but at the end it's just a fuzzer that is using the same logic as Fort. And if I had to like think different, yeah, I don't really know how to use Medusa.
Yeah,
But the idea,
learn it.
yeah, I will.
I have a
The
question.
thing is, tell me.
So there's a question from the community. Peace Duck is asking us how to connect VS Code to the container like you did in there, because usually you're going to be mapping a folder inside your machine, open that as the project and running Docker. But you seem to have connected your VS Code straight to the container. Can you show us how?
How to like attach the VS container, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you can use Docker not only with VS, just to like explain it. So in this command, you first build the image, right? And then you run the image. So if you every time you land run, it's going to create another instance. So if I go to the Docker desktop, I click here and I see all the machines that are running on the container. So there is the machine 1, that it was the first attempt, the machine 2, that was the one from the stock, and the temporal machine. If I go to this, it was this one. So if I go here and go exit, it just disappeared the temporal version. This is because it was using the minus remove option, right? And so if I don't run what is here, the minus detach option, it's going to run in the same way as it's running here. So you just build the thing and you can use it. And in the moment you have one image running, like all of these, you can just go create a new window here. And if you install the plugin, it's called Docker something. Yeah, Docker, probably Docker. And so this what it makes is that if you run the command palette, Control-Shift-P, if somebody don't know, you have the dev containers attached to running container. So you click here and you see all these running containers. And as you click on one of those, for example, temporal machine, it attaches the Docker to the Visual Studio Code. And it's going to open like in the root from White Hat. But if you want, for example, to go here and how was this? Open folder, yeah. So you click on open folder. You can even open from home, or you can go one level less and use all these user and bin and etc. All these folders. But we run home, right? So we can see all the users, not only White Hat. The thing is that only White Hat is live, but so we can explore the whole thing, and in this moment it's already connected. So if you run a new terminal here, you have the terminal as it is here. It's the same thing. And now we can just work as you would work with some command line in Ubuntu. And as I always say, just run a 2, install your things like the first time. We don't only have the tools for like testing that are like Yeah, I think most of them are on the top. The symbolic analysis, blah blah, analyzer. Pyrometer is for bounding analysis. It's a new tool. It's on beta, but it's really cool. Brownie for tooling in using Python framework. Etheno that is from Trailbit. I tried to install everything that was from Trailbit. So we have Etheno, we have Manticore, we have Echidna, we have Embark extension from Trailbit. I never used this, but I tried to follow the toolbox they had and improved it. We have Circon for circuit things, developing and testing. We have also this command that what does is installing um, a lot of things from Visual Studio, a lot of extensions. The common extensions for analysis. We also have the Python things like AWorks. We have Solidity, Python selector. We have, if we go here to the scripts folder, we will see all the tooling, and let's say, for example, the Python things. What it does is just installing the dependency in a way that the user don't need to worry about it and just install them. So Pyrometer does more things because it needs to, it have more options. There is this update scripts that what does is to sync your scripts folder with the new options are on the GitHub. What it means is that you don't need to build the image one time and another. So you can just, if one new tool is released, probably is released in the form of installer. So if you run add the slash okay, it's add to, yeah. So what does is checking if there are differences in this script folder and in the template folder with the master branch. And if it finds difference, it will ask you if you want to update the files. You can say yes, no, whatever, and it will just update them. So you can have one Docker file that is like from 2 months ago and being literally sync with the new release. And we have also this, I think it's called issue command, yeah. So what it does is that, let's say we found an issue on this, okay, this is not the same Docker we were using, but let's say we just went here and we started watching to the code, and let's find some fast issue. This is Kiva. Okay, so we found that this scroll address is not checked, not to be 0, and this might force a redeployment. So it's not checked, right? So let's write the issue. So we just come here as this is a C4 contest. We will use the template from C4. And what we should do, so it was -8. Okay, so we run C4, we run -n for naming the issue, and the name of the issue is going to be not check address. And this will open in Nano or Beam or Code. It has different options just to like get into the file. But what it does is to create an issue. Why don't they have? Okay, I need to fix that. Now it's working.
Classic.
Yeah. Okay, that is cool. I just found an issue. It's using the relative path of the folder. It's already on the thing, and so it doesn't find the template folder that it have the different templates for the different companies. And yeah, so I have this new issue, and I will just say that the impact is that you may have to redeploy the whole thing, waste extra gas, and yeah, there is no verification and whatever, and blah 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 blah. And the recommendation mitigation types is just to add a check, so it's not the default value, what will be the zero address. And maybe this even have impact because I don't know, maybe the root thing is it's a scroll, right? Maybe someone sends money to the scroll and this money is burned and that's not good. And here we are not emitting anything about what this scroll. So we may create this scroll with the zero value and just burn the whole thing. I don't know where is this being used. We may need to like check it. It's not used in this thing, but yeah, we can just find the folder and look for this scroll thing. Well, this is just vanity, and this is just like wanted to find what of these is failing. But
I'm
so,
out.
what is the impact, right?
Yeah. I'm also one of the nano enjoyers, right?
Yeah. So in a moment, okay, the whole thing, and the whole world. Well, I would need to verify this more in depth, but yeah, we might at least have a QA from this. So we save this issue, and if we go to templates folder, we have the issues folder, and we have this not check address issue. So it's a way to use the command line and to build the issues in a faster way without needing to go to Sherlock or whatever. Because if you go to Sherlock and you have these issues, you need to log in with your wallet, and it's a pain in the ass. I'm not gonna lie. So, we have this with these templates.
Bro, this is a massive amount of work to do this too. I mean, how long you were working on this?
In the first version, I think it was released 1 month after the. Actually, it was basically ready on the Security Summit, but I needed to test a lot of things, and as I didn't test them, it was like, yeah, I'm not gonna announce this if it's broke. I almost find an issue here, like
Wow.
just about the issue. So, but I checked a lot of things, and the at least I wanted to have all the tooling ready for use. Like if you want to use them, be ready. If you know how to use Manticore, just use it. If you know how to use Myth, just use it. Slither. With the Slither, there is an interesting thing is that I installed the slithering detectors. So if we go here and we run the slither thing, and let's pray so this works. And so slither output .md. Well, it's not .md because it's on a checklist, but the output will have more detectors as it is used in the. We go to the references, we will find not only a slither but the pessimistic from a slithering, from pessimistic EO detectors, and they are really cool. They have these unprotected setters. They already found some issues, and they are not as precise as I would like. But whoever used Slither on the past knows that it fails a lot. They have a lot of false positives to generate, blah blah blah. A lot of the thing, I don't know if I'm going to get any output, but the thing is that it have more detectors than than a Slither, and
Awesome.
yeah, I might get an output. I actually think I might get an output. Let's see how this finishes.
So are you using slithering detectors?
Yeah, they have some cool detectors for some QA, and sometimes the thing is that QA issues like this one, like the not verified scroll, like not checked to be some value, because we don't know, for example, if this have like a setter or whatever. We don't know what is the impact, the real impact of the, because redeploying is not that expensive. It's a pain in the ass, but it's not like very well. Assertion error. Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Probably we don't have any issue. Hey, no, we don't have any issue. Well, Slither. At least if we run just a Slither dot, probably we will see some detector working, and we will see if they are green, if they are like common or whatever. And I think that's like the whole thing, like having in the add to option all this tooling, this common tooling to run your stuff. And if I could like test anything, if we go to the README, the original idea was to like what is inside, right? What are the tools? What is everything? It's inside. And if we go to the here, we will see all the features that are inside. We have Python, Rust, Julia, Noah, Earcom, Solidity, Viper, Foundry, Halmos, Heimdall, Slither, Kidname,
A lot of things.
Ganache, Truffle, Brownie, Pyrometer.
Really cool.
They are like the common things. After that, I wanted to check like, yeah, like just install some tools. This is the common flow I would follow. What's next? Well, this is like an extra. We would clone a repo, we would go inside the repo, we will force install, yard install, or whatever we need. We will copy the example. We will run the Solidity select install option with the version. This is commonly useful for Mithril, because if not, you need to specify an option. It's called minus sol v version, something like that. If we go to one of the multiple instances we have of the Docker machine, and we run the mithril minus help, we will see it's called minus, no, this is the log level version. It's the sol v version is the version thing. And you select the Solidity version, and let's say we need to use the 20, we install it and we use it. This will have issues with Arbitrum, but that's not what we're talking about. And what else? So we have everything set. The next step, in my opinion, is just to get like the metrics. So we will go here and see in the extensions the Solidity version developer. I don't know what is this. Is this like it's disconnected to anything? No, it's not. But the Solidity version developer extension have one option that what you do is to inside something. Yes, so I open many things. We close this, and we will get the files, no? For example, like the files in the scope. And what I would do in the audit is to like notice, put all of these things in an Excel file, and to see the number of lines these contests, for example, have, right? So we can take all of this and order by the number of of complexity that probably is getting by the slogs. And we can start from the smaller pieces and try to understand them. So in that way, it's like easier to get into the big thing in the moment you get into it. So you first understand this, and you probably need to go here and go to the where is defined this, and you go deeper in the rabbit hole, and you try to understand this and check if this is okay and this is not. And I think this is not optimized. They can actually use same option and just do something like logic, but sounds require I just read code and try to find issues. So the next step is I would run optimization in that file. And the next thing it would be to we have the tooling installed. We have the files that we want to analyze, and we will write on the next on the right on the Excel file if we check them, if we already find issues or not, if we need to check them more. And we will run analyzers, static analyzers probably, or symbolic execution. We can run Slither in the checklist option, so we can copy paste this in the format. Like somewhere we can format Markdown output. We have the analyze for that we just run source and it will check it. We have the mithril option, and most of the times when this is the solvy thing I said. So when I use mithril, we are missing here the target. This is wrong.
I see.
So we will run something like this, but we will say okay, so it's inside. I don't even have a repo here to audit. It's this one. So we will run this in the source against, for example, root. But we can also take it in a level way. We can just put the asterisk and take the whole thing, all the solidity things that are inside of this. But if there are more levels inside, like is this the case, like for example for admins, we would do the same. We can do something like this just to check the solidity packages. And so there are more, the options that are here on solidity is the remappings that are really useful most of the times, and the timeout, because I used to run mithril and let it put 3 hours of timeout, and if we find something, it's cool. But if we talk about the static analyzers, don't waste more of an hour or two in the output of these analyzers. Because most of the issues are not
false positives?
Yeah.
I understand.
For example, if we see mithril, the outputs from mithril sometimes are useful, mostly in the call level. If there is an arbitrary call that can be used to exploit some contract, that is cool from mithril. But most of the times, the outputs from mithril, you can find them in a Slither. So
I understand.
It's like duplicate.
I understand.
Work. The analyzer thing, it's cool if you do a private audit, or if you do an audit that is not for Corarina or it's not for Codehawks, because they already have most of the analyze for output. If you go, for example, here in the repo, they have this page with the known issues. And back in time, they used to be just the analyzer, the output from analyzer. So basically, we have this kind of things in the analyzer output that if we run the analyze for thing against the code, against source that is inside the thing, the output is like common QA, optimization, and most of the mediums they will find are like centralization issues that people used to disregard, even if it's like a real deal in my opinion. Yeah, but so probably the better output you get in the static analyzer thing, it's a Slither with the slithering plugin. So just check the output, look for common addresses getting or addresses or values getting bad set, like yeah, bad setters, and maybe they don't have emit and they can be exploited in some way. For example, painting important values without anybody noticing them. That's something that appears in the slithering plugin. Uh, so yeah, just check them fast. Look if they found a medium, maybe with a slither. But at least you have these options that are like the common tools for static analyzer. And we have the issue thing that will help us to write the issues. We have Forge, we have Medusa, we have Echidna for testing in Fuzzer. We have Halmos that works the same way as Forge or Medusa, most likely. And we have Heimdall that I linked this YouTube video from Alex the Entrepreneur, where it teaches how to use Heimdall. And Heimdall, what it is a decompiler, disassembler that is really cool and nice at this. So basically, let's say you have a smart contract in the chain, and that smart contract you can see the code here, and you can even see the code in this new option that is Visual Studio ID. But let's say the code is not verified. You can do this. So it is not verified. The common thing that it was made in the past was just calling decompiled bytecode. But the thing with the compiled bytecode is that it opens this page, and most of the times it doesn't even work, or it takes a lot of time. And if we see, for example, this one that is a methbot, and you try to see the contract, right? It is the bytecode. You click on decompile, and we get this definition. It's on Python style. What is really good, in this case, it worked, right?
Yeah.
But if you would like to see it in Solidity way, there is this tool from John Becker that is really good. And so I have the disassembler option, the decompile, whatever. And what you do is just writing this, like in the decompile, you put the address, you put the ERPC URL with the Alchemy key, and we put the include sol. And if we do this on the toolbox, let's run this because this is installed by default. We don't even need to. Which is the code of this. Well, we are gonna try this one. Well, okay. So we just need to modify the key. And the key, it's on my other desktop. It was Polygon, right? Yeah. Let's paint this. Fail to create.
Permissions?
Nope. Some issue I will need to check about Heimdall. Jesus Christ. Okay, this is another so the direct.
It's a classical case.
Heimdall is supposed to, this is in beta. Heimdall is supposed to be useful for that. And what it could do is to create a Solidity file with like this is done in the Python way. The same thing would happen with Solidity. And this is one of the best tools if you audit, for example, some contracts that are on Immunify, because not everything on Immunify is verified, and I will help you for that.
What
So
you mean?
this
Can
is
you
not the case.
repeat? Can you repeat that? Sorry.
So if you go to Immunify and you go to some of the bounties, sometimes they have this course on GitHub, or maybe they just give you this Etherscan address, and
it's not
in this case
verified.
in this case it's verified. If you see the check is verified, but maybe it's not verified, and that will help you. Heimdall would help you for that.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's a tool. It's an advanced tool that is worth for like in bug bounty on Immodify. Also, we have Pyrometer that what does is just checking like bounces. So, for example, if we have this code, we get this address, right? It will check the different addresses that are possible to be input into this. So if we add to this contract some require like user can be address 0, what this could do is if you run the Pyrometer command and you specify what is this. So we save this. Let's see. And we specify this is inside source util host. What it does is create this ANSI output that checks like the possibilities of the bounds of this. So this doesn't allow an address 0, and this is going to tell you that. In this case, it allows the address 0 because, as you can see, we don't have this check I just added.
Awesome.
So this is mostly useful for like values in arithmetic operations. If we have some kind of uint input, and for example, there are a lot of complex operations before, maybe that input is somehow bounded. So, for example, if we do some modulus 256, obviously so let's say this is not, let's find some uint math value. So we have this uint text, and the first thing we do with the uint value is to check it, to assign it to modulus 256, and the thing is the output, obviously, it's not going to be higher than that.
Okay.
It's impossible. So,
Okay.
like, or you divide it, so it's not going to be higher than 256. You are like bound, creating a bound, and this output, what it's going to tell you is that can happen if you take the bounds in a Boolean. It obviously it's going to tell you that it can be or true or false. That's it. But with numbers, after some operations, that is going to tell you what can be. So if we launch a Pyrometer against Mathlib, probably let's see what it tells us. So, for example, we see that result that is somewhere. Let's look for result here. So result is a value that it's going to be that exceeds from 0 to that thing, like the whole uint 256 value minus 192. And that is because all the operations that are here. So Pyrometer, what it does is like to fuzz this, let's say, like checks the whole thing. It's really cool in a arithmetic and mathematical way that you can like see what kind of values it's going to be allowed. This is like the whole, if you see this value, it doesn't allow 0, but it allows the whole uint 256 values. So it is useful for that. You see this kind of smart contract with a lot of mathematic formulas. You run Pyrometer, check the bounds, and that's probably the best use case. And there is this minus VB option that is going to tell you all the operations and the steps and what is going on, and like why this is minus 192, and it's because of the previous operations. So that's Pyrometer. That's one of the other tools that I like for testing. We also have Ganesh and Anvil. So we go here and we launch Anvil, and this is useful for not doing. So if you need to test anything against the blockchain, you better do it first locally.
Yeah.
And don't get run it from some bots.
Yeah.
And the same thing is Ganesh. Wait, Ganesh should work. Yeah, because I was running Anvil. Ganesh is the same thing as Anvil. It was the previous tool. It was used for this, for local forking and testing in Ethereum. But Anvil is in Rust, so I just used Anvil, in my opinion.
Very cool.
So what else? There are some tools that I'm not testing. This is the password in case you need some privileges. We're not gonna make it. And this is the timing of building the Docker image. We see here the layers getting built. And I think that's all. We have this command.
Oh, that's a pretty impressive tool, man.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, no, it's not guess. I mean, this is a really impressive tool. I'm going to invite people, everyone, if you guys have any questions. I'm going to start with the question. So is this open source, right?
Yeah, it's open source.
Do you have a list of first good issues on how can we start contributing?
Yes, if you find some issues like I did, like for example, the issue command is not using the path from the home page, the home URL root. So just create the issue, label it, or maybe create a pull request with how to solve the issue. This is, let's say, this is medium priority, or not medium but low, and you say, well, what's going on? That in this case, the whole title is that to create the issue, and I will solve it as fast as I can. Here are some issues. I will add the things to troubleshooting if some version have some issue, and how to solve it in that version, and that's it. I don't know.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Create a fork and pull request. That would be the thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna start using these more here on OpenSense, so people can faster when starting all this. This is always a pain, right?
Yeah,
it was really interesting, man. I wonder, like, you need to push this further on Twitter and stuff because people would be crazy about it,
Well, medium. I'm so sorry for doing this in life.
No problem. No problem.
So I don't forget it. Yeah, that would be awesome. But I like to just build this thing, make them possible for users, and nowadays I have even the Twitter. Yeah, in the Twitter I created this thing blog, so I will just with a lot of followers.
No,
wow,
I will.
7.
I will give you.
At least we have talk.
I will give you a
Pero this guy, the virus.
really important guy. Awesome.
And so I will just tell all the changes and the new versions that they released. And yeah,
This is it?
maybe I will do some live audit or something using the toolbox.
Awesome. That would be pretty cool.
And if you find some issue, let me know. I will solve it as fast as I can.
Do you have any closing thoughts? Any message you want to leave to hear this in the future?
If you design some tool, do it with Rust as fast as you can.
Wow.
And try to create a good UX. So for example, this is a wrapper. This is just something like go inside the folder of the repo and just launch the tool. And if you are an auditor or a developer, use the tools for checking invariants mostly. The fuzzers are really good. Use Halmos, use Forge and Medusa. If you are a classic, use Echidna because it have a lot of cool things and it passed the proof of time. Use Certora, and yeah, but if you want to go inside tooling fast, run static analyzers and run Forge, and I think that's like a Halmos. And with that, you will have the tooling in the best way. There is this. Yeah. Let me show this fast. So it clone because I didn't show Halmos in the.
Awesome.
They have these Halmos, so they have these examples that should work. So if we go to the toy folder, toy, because I really like Halmos because it formal verificates the things with a common set. No, it's on test. Test. So we have this file, and if we here run for test, it will check it and say everything is going on right. But if we modify the test that is example.test, and we add the keyword for Halmos that is check, and we add this to the whole thing. I think it was one of these tests. The one was expected to fail. We just run Halmos and there we go. What it creates is a counterexample of how to make the test fail. And this is the output. And this is why I say that Halmos is really cool, because I didn't have to create a test. It was just the first test. I modified and added the keyword, and we have a counterexample of how to make that test fail. And that's it. Use Halmos.
Amazing stuff, buddy. Thank you so much for the tool. Thank you so much for time. This is really enriching, is to take the time to dive into the tool, learn how to use it's gonna save you a lot of time, make you much more mobile as an auditor. You don't have to so reliant on a specific machine. So if your Linux broke, what happens all the time, or if you get hacked or something, well, definitely useful. Thank you so much. And yeah, let's book a live audit with this tool. And I think this is it.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for coming, and see you around. Make the space safer.
See you around, bro.